Dad's mistress, now wife, says she's happy our mom died cause now we can build a relationship. Told her she's a nasty, disgusting person. Now she and Dad says we need to apologize. Am I the a-hole for being such a bee to my dad's wife after my mom died? My 17 female parents got divorced 6 years ago because my dad was cheating. His wife, Hazel, worked with my mom and knew us, so the breakup was bad. My brother, 19 male, and I didn't think much of our dad after finding out what he did, and our relationship with him was never the same. We never liked his wife, and over time, I grew to hate her. She expected things to be okay, and of course, they weren't. I don't know why she thought my brother and I would like her or why she thought my mom would care about what happened to her. Things got even nastier when the divorce was finalized, and my dad married Hazel. She was pregnant but miscarried a few days before the wedding. She called my mom to ask her to take us to the hospital to see her, and my mom said no. Hazel cried over the phone to my mom, talking about her miscarriage and how she needed her family around her for support. My mom told her she had no compassion for the woman who broke up her marriage. Hazel then called my mom again, claiming my mom set a bad example and asking her to think about the sibling my brother and I lost. My mom told her she was glad it happened because we wouldn't have to deal with a half-sibling from her and Dad since they were both cheating. I think she said, but I couldn't hear everything. Hazel went nuts. I never forgot what my mom said. Once I was old enough, I stopped going to my dad's house too and ignored any contact from Hazel. I only spoke to my dad occasionally, so my mom wouldn't get in trouble for not encouraging contact. Hazel, however, would sometimes show up when my dad did and would act hostile toward my mom, expecting us to side with her. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in January and passed away 3 weeks ago. My brother and I were with her when she passed. Dad came over when he heard and insisted we go to his house even though we didn't want to. Hazel was there waiting and tried to hug us, but we shut her down. My brother and I were crying and I asked my brother how we were supposed to deal with all this. Dad said he was there for us and that we needed to lean on him. Then Hazel said that bad influence is finally out of our lives, and now we can work on building relationships with each other. My brother cursed at her and told her to shut up. Hazel responded that our mom was to blame for how we acted and said it was said we didn't see her for the disgusting past she was. She even brought up the phone call years ago and said I heard what my mom told her, yet I still chose my mom. I told her she was twisted for thinking I'd ever choose my dad's mistress over my mom. I also said she was a disgusting, nasty person. I deserved everything my mom had said to her and more. Hazel lost it, and my brother took me to our grandparents' house. Dad tried to stop us from leaving and begged me to come back, but I said no. We've stayed with our grandparents since. My brother and I have shut Dad out completely and didn't tell him anything about the funeral even though he asked. Hazel has tried reaching out to me, but I ignored her. Now both Dad and Hazel are texting me, saying I need to apologize for being so awful to her because it's not her fault mom died. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Hazel really said, I broke up your family, disrespected your mom, and now I'm the victim? Girl, what? The audacity is on sale, and she bought the whole shelf. You don't owe her a single apology. She's been messy since day one. Keep chilling with your grandparents and brother. That's the real support squad. You forgot the fact that she was happy about their mom dying and said it out loud in front of Hopi, her brother, and Dad. Dad didn't even have the spine to stand up to her after her horrible comments right after her mom died. I just lost my mom. If someone said that to me, I would go supernova. Lock Hazel and your father and stop picking up their calls. You are not the a-hole. You and your brother only have each other right now along with your grandparents. You need to mourn your loss. Losing your mother is a debilitating and tragic loss that you will carry for the rest of your lives. You are almost 18 and becoming an adult. Tell Hazel that you will get a protection order and charge her with harassment if she keeps up with her nonsense. Condolences to you and your brother for your loss. Hazel is nobody to you, your brother, or your family. You need to find a way to mourn your mother and ensure you and your brother receive her Social Security survivor benefits and any life insurance benefits. You are both almost adult beneficiaries. If your mother had a will before her passing, make sure it is executed. Get professional help and consult a lawyer to assist you and your brother in securing your mother's assets from her marriage. Again, you are not the a-hole, and my condolences to you and your brother for your loss. OP, please get a lawyer and ensure your mother's estate is settled. I'm so deeply sorry you have to navigate this loss at such a young age. Please get a good lawyer to review everything and make sure you and your brother are taken care of. It wouldn't shock me if your dad and Hazel try to swoop in to help take care of the assets. Again, I am so sorry for your loss. Just keep moving forward through the pain. I'd also recommend speaking with a therapist to help you as you go through the stages of grief. Sending you and your brother love. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not paying to take my son's girlfriend on vacation? I have 2 sons, 22 and 23. They both have serious girlfriends they have been dating for over 2 years. Jordan's girlfriend is an amazing young lady. She has a great head on her shoulders, is sweet, smart, polite, good to my parents, responsible, and balances my son perfectly. They make a great team. Tyler's girlfriend, on the other hand, is selfish, entitled, manipulative, and dislikes our family. She scares me and the rest of the family and friends with her behavior. Both of my sons are in love and plan to marry these young ladies. I was divorced when both boys were in diapers, so it has been the three of us for years. We are very close. We have always traveled together. Jordan's girlfriend has been on 2 trips with us that I paid for. A trip to Vegas for Jordan's 21st and a charity boat poker run on Lake Michigan. Both of these trips involved bars, so Tyler's girlfriend, who was 20 at the time, was not invited. She became angry that she wasn't included. My husband of 2 years and I own a vacation home on a lake. My husband planned a guy's trip for 1 week. Tyler's girlfriend got irate because she wanted to use the house that same week, the week before she turned to college. Tyler has now informed me that his girlfriend must be invited on all trips, that I will be expected to pay for her or he won't come. My husband has said she is not welcome at the vacation house until she stops acting so entitled. We were planning a family vacation to the Bahamas for Christmas. Per Jordan's request, I canceled the family trip, upgraded my husband and me to first class in a suite, and decided we'd enjoy the trip without them. Jordan thought the family trip would be miserable with Tyler's girlfriend there and wanted me to have a good time. Now, Tyler and his girlfriend are furious. Am I the aole for not paying to take my future daughter-in-law on vacation? Not the aole. This isn't about playing favorites. It's about respecting boundaries and behavior. You're not the a-hole. You're not obligated to pay for anyone's vacation. Jordan's girlfriend has shown kindness, responsibility, and appreciation, so including her on trips feels natural. Tyler's girlfriend, on the other hand, has been manipulative and demanding. It's not unreasonable to say no to someone who behaves that way. Honestly, if someone demands to be included or throws a fit when they're not, that's on them. Tyler's ultimatum says more about him than you. He's free to skip trips, but you're free to set the terms for your own vacations. He can make his own decisions, but he doesn't get to dictate yours. And you shouldn't be guilted into funding someone who doesn't even respect you. Amazing on Jordan for pushing to have you enjoy that trip and having the wherewithal to see the obvious problem. No comments other than the entitled girl is so out of touch with reality, it's terrifying. Jordan's response says a lot about his character too. He clearly values family and recognizes what's best for everyone involved. It's a shame Tyler is prioritizing his girlfriend's tantrums over family dynamics. Setting boundaries is essential for long-term harmony. Not the aole. She's not even family yet, and she's already acting like this? Lol, you're not obligated to fund her vacations, especially when she's being so disrespectful to you and your husband. Tyler needs to wake up and realize this is not normal or acceptable behavior from a partner. You did the right thing by setting boundaries. Enjoy that first-class suite. The fact that those kids just expect her to pay is baffling, and they threaten they won't come otherwise. Plus, she wanted to use a house she doesn't own. What a joke. I would have said, I guess we won't be vacationing together then. Next story. Am I the aole for telling my mom's boyfriend his kids will never be a family? Roughly more than a year ago, my mother introduced me to her boyfriend. Since then, my 3 siblings have been introduced to his 3 kids, and our families have been merged. Although we still live in separate homes, his family is over at our house all the time. It's very obvious that he is purposely leaving me and my older siblings out of the family plans. Last year during Thanksgiving, I was informed only 3 days beforehand that all of his kids, including his adult child, my 2 younger siblings, and my mother were going to visit our grandparents 6 states away. My older sibling and I were blindsided. We didn't have enough time to pull together funds or arrange time off to join them. When we brought this up to our mom, she simply said, "I guess you can join us next time," and added that she thought we already knew. This left me and my sibling alone for a week during Thanksgiving. We each ended up going to separate family members' houses who we don't see often. Both of us were deeply hurt by this incident, and it made us reflect on how many family trips they've had without inviting us or telling us until the day off. We kept our mouths shut until now. With Christmas approaching, we were worried they'd pull the same stunt again. Thankfully, they didn't, but we were told to make sure we got his kids gifts because they're now our siblings. Having to buy gifts for 3 people we aren't even close to really sucked, but my sibling and I begrudgingly did so. Today, I found out that his kids weren't getting any gifts from my siblings, not even the adult child, despite them all having jobs. This really ticked me off, and I ended up lashing out at both my mom and her boyfriend. I told him I didn't care about him or his kids and that if he wants to play family, he's doing a terrible job acting like a father. He retorted that he doesn't need to share his life with adult kids and that to him, we're just part of my mom's past. I'll admit I got nasty after that. I told him his kids were baggage and that my mom didn't need more children to deal with. I said I'd never look at his spoiled brats as family. My mom started crying, and her boyfriend screamed at me to leave. So I did. I'm currently staying at a friend's place, but I'm wondering if I went too far. I don't care if I was in a hole to her boyfriend. I already know that part. But was I in a hole to my mom? I just want her to remember she still has 2 kids who see her as their mother, and she can't just forget about us because her boyfriend won't acknowledge us. Edit, I'm 20, and my older sibling is 17. I only referred to them as older because they're older than my 2 younger siblings who are both under 10. I pay half the rent and household expenses at my mom's house. And without my contributions, we wouldn't have a roof over our heads, as I'm sure everyone knows how expensive it is to live independently right now, let alone with 3 kids. I plan to go back home and understand that her boyfriend can't kick me out of a house where my name is on the lease. For now, I'm cooling off. I just wanted to clarify some things for everyone. Now for the top comments, not the a-hole, but your mom needs a reality check. Me and my sibling were blindsided as we didn't have enough time to pull together funds, our time off to join them. We brought this up to our mom and she simply said she guesses we can join the next time, and she thought we knew. That left us alone for a week during Thanksgiving. Your mom is being pretty cold-heartless here. My sibling and I begrudgingly did so. We don't remember how it got brought up today, but I found out his kids weren't getting any of my siblings' gifts, not even the adult, despite them all having jobs. If you're a grown man who's married to someone with children from another relationship, why are they expecting her to spend money on your kids? Are there no other options than for her or him? This really ticked me off, and I ended up lashing out on both of them, specifically my mother's boyfriend. I told him that I don't care about him or his kids, but if he wants to play family, he's doing a terrible job acting like a father. You are absolutely right in your assessment here. You have every right to be angry and upset. Your mom has abandoned her children for this man who doesn't even acknowledge them as such. Yep, you pay half the rent and bills, and this dude comes and stays at your house with his children all the time. Then he has the audacity to yell at you to leave a house you pay for? Nope. Shut that down right now. Firstly, if he and his kids are there, they need to be paying their share. Secondly, he needs a reminder of whose name is on the lease and who's paying the rent. You need to have a serious sit-down conversation with your mom. There's no way it's fair for you to be financially contributing this much and then being treated like you don't matter. Your mom needs to be reminded that her children should be her priority, not some entitled guy she's dating. Last story. Am I the a-hole for confusing my baby sister into believing I'm her mom? I'm 16, female, and my dad passed away last year. My parents were divorced before that, and they used to split custody. My mom has been remarried to my stepdad for years. My baby sister turned 1 a couple of days ago, and my mom is 5 months pregnant with a baby boy. I guess the problem started when my sister began teething. It was at the beginning of summer break, and my mom would just let her cry it out alone in her nursery. My sister is loud. Not only was it annoying, but it was also kind of sad because she's just the baby going through pain alone. So I started picking her up and trying to soothe her. Being held and chewing on her fingers seemed to help. And after seeing a TikTok of a teething baby using a cucumber, I tried that too. It worked like magic. I thought babies only teeth once, but I was so wrong. It became a routine for me to take care of her a lot. Mom didn't seem to care as long as she wasn't crying, and I actually liked hanging out with her. It wasn't 247, obviously. I had a part-time job and friends, but whenever I came home, she would practically leap out of mom or stepdad's arms to come to me. She also started fuzzing a lot whenever mom tried to put her to sleep, kicking and crying, but she didn't do that to me. With me, she just cuddles up to my chest and falls asleep. I thought this was just normal baby behavior, but my mom was fuming after my sister's birthday party. My sister wouldn't let mom hold her for pictures or during the cake cutting. Then my grandma made a comment about my sister and me being like Siamese twins, which I took as us just being close. I didn't think it was a big deal. My mom was clearly upset though. And after the party, she told me I'm confusing my sister into thinking I'm her mom and that I need to take a step back. But what am I supposed to do? Ignore her when she cries or babbles for me? It's not like I push my mom out of the way to get to her. Usually, mom is napping or in the bathroom, and I just don't want my sister crying her lungs out. Not the a-hole. Your sister prefers you over your mother because your mother has failed her as a parent. From the sounds of it, you're the only one who comforts her when she cries, shows her affection, gives her your time, and cares for her needs beyond the basics. Your mother is a bad parent. Who leaves a baby to scream and cry and thinks that's okay? If she wants to throw a hissy fit over the fact that her teenager is a more attentive parent than her, let her. Keep doing what you're doing because you're helping your sister more than you realize. I just want to clarify that she doesn't ignore her. But when my sister was teething, she said there's nothing she can do for her anyway because it's something all babies go through. Yes. All babies go through it. That's why we have hundreds of ways to manage it. Parents have been soothing their children through teething for as long as humans have had teeth. Even if you can't stop the pain, the comfort of someone being there and paying attention helps. Your mother was seriously harming your sister emotionally by ignoring her. Not the aole. When I was younger, my mom would lock me in my room thinking it would make me go to sleep. It didn't. It traumatized me. I hate the dark and being alone, and she didn't care. She neglected and abused me throughout my childhood, and only now in my teens am I realizing how horrible she really was. She calls it rebelling when I don't want her near me. Please try to get out of that toxic environment like I'm trying to do. No mother should feel jealous of her daughter for being a better parent than her.